Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Austin Oli Sports Podcast. It was a great weekend. I won 1 out of my 3 fantasy leagues. It's okay. I'll take 1, 2-0.
Yeah, how does it, not everybody can go 3-0 like me. That's all right.
3-0. Oh, you went 3-0 in all your leagues?
3-0. That's all I want to say. 3-0. I mean, hey, come on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
It's about me. I didn't even ask you, by the way. It's all about me.
Yeah.
And Cowboys were back, obviously, and they absolutely pounded another New York team. So what's new? Texas Rangers are indeed not back, clearly. We'll get into a lot of stuff. We got AU. We got some classes, some notes to take. We got all in the outfield, a couple of stuff. I mean, basically bagging on the Rangers. When am I not bagging on the Rangers?
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, man. What'd you do this weekend, bro?
Yeah, really not much. Just kind of hung out on Friday night. Saturday went down to Houston for the TCU Houston game, which was pretty sweet. So got to see Lauren too, which was nice. Emily's sister. But yeah, man, it was sick. It was awesome. Lauren kind of took us around Houston, and I know you had kind of swiped up some of my Instagram stories and all that. And there was
I feel like that's where everyone gets taken at. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've never been to Houston and kind of experienced stuff like that. So I was pretty impressed. And there's some pretty sweet spots. So I kind of just have the stereotype of oh, Houston's dog shit and all that stuff. But
That's
it was
still
cool.
true.
It was a lot of fun.
Still true.
Yeah. So
it's hot out there. How did you feel out there this weekend?
It was humid. So the TCU game, it was like a 7:00 kickoff, and we got there at probably it was raining all day too, and so all the like the fan stuff and all that beforehand was just all covered in mud, and just by the time we got up to our seats, it was humid, there was no breeze, so it really wasn't that hot out, but still because of the humidity and just the fact there was no breeze, it was muggy. But lucky, TCU kind of dominated the game. I'll talk a little bit about it in AU, but dominated the game. The boys look good, so we're taking steps forward every week. So made it a good trip all in all. So
yeah, man. What about you? Under on that one too. Yeah, nothing much, man. Yeah, I told you. You said I was sweating. I was like, bro, I'm fine, dude. I don't care about TCU and Houston. That's an under, bro.
I didn't realize that TCU's defense is actually any good after that first week. So looking a lot better.
Yeah, man, that's good. I tried to watch a little bit of it, but I didn't do much.
Yeah.
Friday, got off early. Went shopping. I chilled a bit.
Didn't catch a round of golf.
What's up? I didn't
get around to golf.
It was kind of cloudy. And Rose hey bro, you think we can make it? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. And I had to get some shopping, like I said, because it was my cousin's birthday. It was Isaac's birthday Saturday, his birthday party. So did that Saturday afternoon. Saw some Premier League Saturday. If we have time for that, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Just chill, man. And Sunday, obviously, woke up, watched NFL football, and it was amazing. Lovely Sunday.
Yeah, it was
bro.
Nice little casual
nothing too
day.
exciting. Yeah.
Well, nah, that's fair. Everybody needs one of those. But I guess, speaking of a little bit NFL, let's get into it, bro.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, started off Cowboys. Nice little win, as Ollie said, 30-10 over the New York Jets. I want to start it off. I know a lot of the big talking points is the defense and how, it's a Super Bowl caliber, elite defense. But I want to start off with Dak. I think that he played a great game. Starting out 13-13, finishing up, completing 31-38 for 255 and 2 tuds. I think that, that's kind of the performance that we need him to have week in, week out. I don't think we need him to throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns every week, because we don't. Our defense is good enough that I think that if he's, hitting, just not turning the ball over, he's helping you win the game, and he's, continuing to keep the offense pushing along. I think that that's something that's going to be great, and that takes us to the upper echelon of the teams in the NFL. And we had kind of talked about it last week, somebody like Josh Allen, who, is a stat padding quarterback and has all this hype around him, but he has 80 something turnovers in 4 years. And somebody like Justin Herbert, who again just gets a lot of stats but can't get it done when it matters. We needed to score points, and Dak was able to get the offense out there and score points. They had, I understand, we kicked a ton of field goals and couldn't couldn't convert in a red zone, but like still we're in position to score. And I think that red zone offense is going to be something that kind of picks up um, as Dak and offense gets a little bit more comfortable with McCarthy calling plays and Schottenheimer being the OC versus what they did with Kellen Moore and stuff like that. So no, I was really impressed with Dak and the offense in general.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of people are obviously upset, or it's like a 50-50. You're either like really hyped up about it, or people start nitpicking, which is nothing wrong with that. I think it shows good signs. Like, yeah, you're 2-0, but even your own fan base is still not too confident, even though you're starting 2-0. When you should be happy anytime you win in NFL football
Cowboys, bro.
I know, and like you start to hear things, and I was like, 30-10, you have a plus minus differential of 60.
Has to be, yeah.
30, 40, 60.
Yeah, 60
and people are complaining about the offense. But I definitely see it, like you said. I mean, but you got to think about this Jets defense that just had 3 turnovers or 3 picks off of
it's an elite
Josh
defense.
Allen the week before. And it's a great defense, man. Like, I was willing to see it. And, I mean, offense did what it had to do. You didn't see any, like, really big play Dak. It was just give it to CD quick and get him open and just yak. It was just yards after catch. And
I think that's like how I think the offense needs to be played, right? I think that you have playmakers out there for a reason. You need to get them the ball in space and get it to them quick, and it allows people to make plays. And I think that's a successful recipe, and especially at all levels of football, really, right? And I mean, I think CeeDee Lamb is an elite wide receiver, and I know that in training camp and stuff like that, he was kind of talking about how he's going to show everybody that he's in that upper echelon, that Justin Jefferson, that Jamar Chase level receiver, and I think he's done nothing but show it. I mean, even this week he had 11 receptions, 143 yards. Like, just anytime you get him the ball, he's gonna make a play, and he may take a big hit, but he's gonna get up. He's gonna take that first down. He's gonna take what you give him.
Dude, he had that massive hit. I was so scared. That one where he flipped and lawn chaired, bro.
Yeah, it just
like,
gets
up like
it's nothing.
I was like, he's not getting up, but he got right up and did the. And I was like, okay, he's fine.
Did that?
I was like, Dak, bro.
He's good, bro.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
and also like we saw with
thoughts?
Gardner. Yeah, with Sauce Gardner. Have you saw that? I don't know the tweet I sent you. And I think people were talking about it too. It's like, oh, like why isn't it Dak doing like big plays? Like, he's still not blah blah blah. He can't prove this and that. And then he's like, he was talking to him. He's like, why don't you throw my way? And he's just like, bro, I didn't need to.
I didn't need to.
1 by 30. I threw where I need to. Made my guys do get the plays going. I just didn't need to.
Guys were open. Yeah.
I love that response, which is true.
Yeah, and like I think Sauce had like one opportunity for a pick, and
and that would have been to the crib, but that would have changed the whole game.
It would have. Yeah, and so I think other than that, I think for the most part he made good decisions, and I really really like where the offense is at right now. I think that we need to get the run game going a little bit more, but like you said, I mean, you can't complain. I mean, we're averaging 35 points over our first 2 games. So what?
I mean, we're scoring next. Points. They ain't gonna challenge you.
Yeah, and so I mean, kind of hitting on the defense now. Like, we have an elite defense. It's very clear. I think. I mean, aside from like what T.J. Watt did last night, like Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in football. I mean, it's got to be without a doubt, right? Like, and as a defense, I mean, have another game, 3 sacks, 5 TFLs. Hit Zach Wilson 5 times and had 3 interceptions and a forced fumble. Like, there's that turnover margin is just such a, like, having a positive turnover margin is something that like is such a big recipe for success. And I think that this defense just helps. And they turn the ball over, they get to the ball, they make good plays. Like Dan Quinn, like, he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. Like, and we just got dogs on the defensive side. Dogs, just straight dogs.
Man. We got depth, bro. We got depth. If I were to say,
so I mean, and like if anything, I was worried about the linebacker depth. Like, I knew our D line would be okay. I knew our secondary would be okay, but like, and I know linebackers was kind of where we were gonna be struggling. But like Marquise Bell and Van Der Esch, like, they're playing well. Like, there's really no causes for concern. Just gotta keep everybody healthy on that side of the ball. So we do that. I think it's gonna be a special season. It's gonna be a special season.
Yeah, it's getting there. I know it's only 2 weeks, bro, but I've seen a lot of glimpses of a lot of good things going our way.
Yeah. So we just got to keep going, and I'm trying to take a more realistic approach to everything. because I don't want to get my hopes up too high. But
you're joining my train. Like, I feel like at the beginning of throughout the podcast series, you've just been so high on everything. Like, dude, like you're high with the Rangers, and I said, bro, I was like, let's stay level, stay on the ground a little bit, okay? I'm on the floor. I might be under the floor if I'm being honest. With all my expectations.
If you have no expectations, you can't have your expectations crushed. It's kind of how I
can't get disappointed.
Can't get disappointed.
Mary Jane said it herself in Spider-Man, bro. She did. I have the picture saved and everything, bro.
She did.
I get it ready for every postseason. Every postseason for the Cowboys. I post it right after the loss. It's just like I didn't expect anything. I can't be disappointed. I didn't expect this.
Just got to be a pessimist. Makes it easier, huh?
Yeah,
makes it easier.
If anything, you just get surprised and you're like, "Oh shit!" A couple things. Cowboys Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Hey, can you imagine? Come on. A couple things I was pretty taken aback by, and I felt like it was pretty obvious. Like when you were looking at it, like it kind of made sense. Time of possession. So the Cowboys had the ball for 42 minutes and 15 seconds compared to the Jets having the ball for 17 minutes and 45 seconds, which unbelievable. And that just kind of shows like just the methodical drives that the Cowboys are having, and the defense was doing a great job just keeping them like just getting the ball, like not allowing big plays from the Jets aside from the big touchdown catch from Garrett Wilson. But like, I mean, he's a playmaker. He's going to make a play. It is what it is. And then just total number of plays. I mean, the Cowboys had basically double the amount of plays that the Jets had, 83 to the Jets 46. Just shows, I mean, like when you can control the game and just have your offense on the field, like you're going to be all right. And so still got some kinks to work out. It's still early in the season, but if they kind of keep stuff like this up, I think it's going to be a good year. So got anything else on the Cowboys before we kind of head over?
Yeah, for sure. What I really liked is like your defense is being so like game changing in so little snaps, like still being so good, and you're giving them all the rest they can. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 guys that played all defensive snaps, and it's still only 46 snaps. So you keep them fresh. Yeah, you keep them fresh, and which is like I love that because 1, you're not risking injury. 2, you're getting other guys in, and you never saw the level of play go down. If I'm being honest.
No, I don't think so.
And that's what's a good thing about just the offense keeping the ball, controlling the game. And what I'm excited to see, I hope it's not next week or anytime soon, but I know the Eagles did this a lot, or I think it was the Vikings, where like there was quite a bit of time last season where you never saw them trailing in a game. So obviously that's something that we still have to overcome. It's going to happen. And I think it was massive for the Cowboys to win the toss, and McCarthy said, let's start with the ball against his defense, against the Jets.
I feel like that's something that they've done kind of like frequently. I think they did it a couple times last year too. Mm-hmm. And like I like that mentality. I think it means like, hey, like
we're gonna show them up, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna get the ball. We're gonna go down the field and we're gonna score 7, and we're gonna set the tone right now. And that's something that
it's just the confidence. I love it.
It's the confidence, and when you have that confidence in your ability as like an offensive coordinator and just the weapons that we have, I think we have a really special team, which is exciting. So can't get too high, can't get too low, but I think we're looking all right.
We're good.
Yeah, man. I don't really have that much else on the game other than
we can mention Brandon Aubrey. He still hasn't opened my DM, by the way, guys. He doesn't want to be on the Austin Oli podcast.
Everybody DM.
He's got like 2,000 followers, bro. I know he saw it.
We gotta lob him one too from our personal accounts. See if we can get on here.
Right? That's what I'm trying, bro. But again, he was a dog. You saw him finally use that leg of his. Was it a 55-yarder? 50?
Yeah, it was pretty deep.
Yeah, it was in the 50s. I want to say it was 55. We finally get to see him do that. He's just the 5th kicker in the Super Bowl era. It's probably like an ESPN stat. I'm sorry I keep bringing these up. But he's the 5th kicker in the Super Bowl era to successfully make at least 7 field goals in his first 2 games of their career. So it probably doesn't happen often because 2 games, but 7 field goals is a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're the guy that's
impressive, yeah,
battling the Cowboys, you're just like, oh, they're not making points. They're in the red zone, they're not scoring. Which you could say that, but you've never been in the point where you have to be, dang, I don't know what the word is, but like eager to score a touchdown. They've never been to that point where they have to do that yet. Yeah. They've been ahead by so much. They don't take the points.
They don't have to go for the fourth down. They just they take the points.
They're just going for the points and get practice for him kicking. And I'll leave you guys off with this question if you want to answer. Do you think the kicker situation can be like the Rangers bullpen?
Nah, don't say that.
Aubrey hasn't been in a situation.
Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there.
Okay, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
We gotta keep the good
That's all I'm gonna
mojo
say.
up. We gotta keep the good mojo up.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, and the last thing, Ronald Jones got released. Who cares? Nothing news, but I feel like we have to throw that out there.
I think that was gonna be.
Okay.
That was pretty expected.
Last Cowboys thing,
Once
and
he
then
got suspended,
we'll head into Thursday night football with the Vikings and the Eagles.
Fun fact, since we had both kind of picked opposite sides of the spread this game, and turns out neither of us won. So
we pushed, bro.
We push, I guess. Live to see another day. Yep. So Eagles end up winning 34-28 over the Vikings. Ollie talked a lot of shit on Kirk Cousins, and hey, it's lights are bright. Is he going to show up? Primetime Kirk was there. Primetime Kirk was there.
It was scary. It was scary at first.
360 yards, 4 tuds. I mean, I think that's something that's shows he was around. I mean, just a lot of sloppy fumbles from the Vikings.
Man,
I know
the punt returner, that punt return early in the game, you get a really massive return, and then you just fumble, bro.
And
then
what was it? Justin Jefferson had a touchdown.
Dude, that one was crazy.
Slipped out of his hands right before half.
Slipped right before the end zone. So it's a touchback.
Yeah, it just changes, just stuff like that. Just stupid fumbles like that. Just kind of change the momentum of the game. And I think that, I don't really think that I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I don't think the Eagles are as good as they were last year. I think they have a lot.
No, they haven't shown
desired.
it yet, clearly.
No, I think Jalen Hurts is regressing. I guess regressing back to his mean from what he was last year. I don't think last year, he was borderline MVP shot or whatever, sure. But I don't think that throwing the ball, he's anywhere near what he was last year. The Eagles rushing attack is still, dangerous. Obviously, right. You had DeAndre Swift with 175 yards.
Yeah, tell me how Swift got one carry last week. The week before, week one, he had one fucking carry. Had him on my team, and I know Gainwell was a scratch, and I said, you know what? But I'm not. I literally called my friend. We both have Swift in different leagues, and I said, are we both going to leave Swift on the bench tonight and go off? He said, bro, I'm willing to take the risk. I can't do it. He got one carry last week. What are we supposed to do? And I said, okay.
So
and I texted him, dude,
tough.
27 damn points on that bench, bro.
That's so
He ran all over them, bro. Gosh, that's the only thing obviously I'm scared of once we get to the Eagles.
Yeah,
is that rush.
I don't think, we haven't been tested on a rush, just a strong, dominant rushing attack yet. Because the Giants are so far behind.
Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook.
But we got up to, we were up on them so fast on both teams.
So we haven't had to play from the back yet.
We've played good running backs. Saquon's a good running back. Breece Hall's a good running back. Dalvin Cook's a good running back.
They just got taken out the game.
They just got taken out of the game. I think Breece Hall led the Jets in carries of their running backs, and he had 4 carries. Just something like that.
He's real butthurt about that.
Is not. Yeah, he is. So, yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. I think we got a little bit of time before we play the Eagles, but I think that, I'm interested to see kind of how they match up as they kind of keep progressing. I don't think that they're as good as they were last year. I think they're going to kind of regress, and I think that the Cowboys, have the inside track to kind of winning that division.
Yeah, I haven't been impressed yet with them. Numbers are really lying, to be honest. I think they've covered every spread, or at least push. They covered last week, push this. And I'm it's just, I don't know. I'm still not buying it. It seems like teams just keep shooting themselves in the foot against these guys.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but I hate Nick Sirianni so freaking much.
Dude. Don't get me started on that guy. Boys crying during the national anthem, bro.
He's just
I'm telling you, bro, he has a punchable face, bro. I'm telling you, man.
He does.
I see him on the screen.
He does.
Such a punchable face.
It's just something about him, bro. It's just the absolute.
And on top of that, he's the Eagles coach. So I'm just
yeah, it just makes it worse.
Even more disgusting. So, yeah.
No, I see you have a little note here about the QB sneak. What do you got with that?
The fuck do you do about that, bro? You're telling me you got 2 guys like a puppet or like a muppet just shoving their hands up his ass and just pushing him down, bro. And I'm mad because we don't do it, if I'm being honest. I'm hating the player, hating the game. I'm doing everything about it. But you see it coming. You see everyone stuffed in there. Reason why we drafted Mozzie Smith, so he can be there to try and stop that. And I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to happen. there's nothing you can do
You got
about
to
it.
put like 17. You got to put like 17 people in the middle of the box, and
Yeah,
then
I
you're
mean,
gonna
and then
watch.
props to
They're gonna.
Jalen Hurts,
They have.
bro. He squats like
He's
what,
a
600,
600 pounds.
700
Yeah.
pounds. Like, I'll give him that. I'll give him props for that. But it pisses me off because it's not my team doing it. We're not executing it like they are, and then you just can't stop it. You know it's coming, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't know. It's just ugly football, and just adds to my hate of the Eagles.
Exactly.
Adds to my hate. But to continue moving along, we have 2 more games left to cover from last week. I want to quickly hit on this game is the Giants and the Cardinals. So I don't know if you saw it, but Giants ended up winning by 3, but they were down 20-0 at halftime, and then they ended up scoring 24 unanswered points in the second half. So I guess I have a question for you: are the Giants good, or is Arizona bad, or are they both bad, or are they both good? Answer that question for me.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I obviously don't think the Giants are good. I mean,
Yeah, I think
they had a pretty good year last year offensively and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones had a positive step forward into his career. The reason why he got overpaid. He got paid, but
does he deserve it?
It's just I didn't catch much of it. Obviously, I was watching the Cowboy game because it was at the same time, right? They played at 3:00. I'm pretty sure. And I had Red Zone on the side, so I'd switch in and out from those games. And then, but yeah, once I saw like 28 or 20-0, whatever, and I was like, oh my God, like they're losing to a team that wants to lose. They're not out there to win.
Yeah.
They're literally going out there to lose.
With a quarterback that has been there for 2 weeks. Yeah. The quarterback has
doesn't
been
even
there
know the guys
weeks.
on doesn't even know his receivers yet or anyone on his team.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, you know? And I think Giants are obviously still trying to contend. Obviously, I think that's why they were able to come back. But I think if the Cardinals really wanted to compete, which clearly they're not. They're getting the draft pick. They're not.
Yeah.
They know this season's in the mud.
Williams.
Yeah. If Caleb Williams wants to go there, ask him first. Talk to him before you do that. And so, yeah, I want to say Giants definitely not good. Throw them out there, obviously. And Saquon's going to be out for a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. Surprised. Yeah. And, yeah, Cardinals are just bad. And we got them next week. And I feel like everyone's getting really ahead of themselves on that Cowboy-Cardinal game. I'm getting really scared. What if this is the one?
That I'm telling you, I have that, just the Cowboys are going to let me down eventually kind of feeling. And this is the perfect game to be let down by. I mean, we're playing in Arizona. Like, you're playing a team that just got screwed out of the second game, basically. And yeah, man, this should be a game where we do the same thing that we've done the last 2 weeks. But
shouldn't see nothing too crazy. Just do your job. Walk in there.
Yeah,
and I hope it's just the players themselves don't get too high on themselves because guys that we listen to on the radio, everyone's just like, oh, beating them by 20, beating them by 30. I'm like, okay. I was like, hopefully the players aren't thinking like this. I hope that they're still trying to out there and kill people no matter what, and just keep stepping on them.
And that's the beauty of the NFL, right? Like everybody's professional, and any given Sunday, you're getting smoked by a team. It does not matter. I mean, what I think the Vikings last year were 14-2 or 14-3, and we just showed up in Minnesota and blew them out by 40. Just never know. You never know. So
that's NFL, bro. You gotta take every win with it, and you gotta run with it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so, I'm if I was a Giants fan, I'd be kind of worried. Obviously, right, getting blown out week 1, and then just having this kind of close game week 2 against a team that you should be beating by 10 at least. But not to mention their next 5 games are really tough. I mean, they play Thursday night in San Francisco against a San Francisco team that's balling out right now. Then they play Seattle. Yeah, they play Seattle at home, which Seattle they should win that game, but Seattle just had a big win against a good Lions team, in my opinion.
With them. Yeah, exactly. I need to see what they're really capable of.
Yeah, and then they're going to be playing in Miami, at Buffalo, and then against still undefeated Commanders team too. So I think their next 5 games it's going to be tough. And Saquon's out for, I think he's out 2 to 3 weeks.
So 2 to 3 weeks of that nature. Roughly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with an ankle sprain. So that's if I'm a Giants fan, I would be seriously concerned that in at the end of, what would that be, week 7, like the Giants are sitting at 1-6, which is a very real
Probably.
possibility.
Yeah.
You
If
know?
you were to think
But, I
they'd
mean,
win one of those games, what team do you think it would be?
I think they beat Seattle. I think that's, if they win one game, they
Yeah,
beat Seattle.
out of all those teams, yeah, it'd be that team. It'd be Seattle.
Or they beat Washington, but I would say Seattle. I don't think Washington's very good either personally, but I think that realistically they go 2-3 and they win their home games and lose the games on the road. But
Which
so I
wouldn't be
mean,
terrible
that would put them at
for them.
3. That put them at 3-4. So I mean,
4.
that's, you're still living, but like, still that's I mean, there's like I said, very real possibility that they're 1-6 going into week 8, which is, for a team that wanted to like compete for the division, that's a brutal wake up call for them.
Come on, yeah.
And then last game was the one that happened last night. Obviously, right? Like Browns Steelers end up winning by 4. Super sloppy game on both sides.
God, it was disgusting.
You know, kind of all the headlines were, you know, Nick Chubb just basically just blowing out his knee again, which, you know, sucks for him.
Yeah. Same
knee that he did it in college too, which
I heard. Yeah.
It's just absolutely horrible. So, Cleveland offense is going to be in trouble. I think Jerome Ford, the guy that kind of stepped in and was their like number 2 back, looked really good in relief. I think he had like 100-something yards on maybe 15 or 16 carries, which is really impressive. I think that,
yeah, I mean, he had that big 70-yard run that was almost a touchdown.
Yeah.
So that's when most of it come. But he looked pretty slow. I mean, I'm not fast myself, but when I was watching on TV, I was like, this guy kind of looks slow. I looked faster, but he looked kind of slow on my screen.
Yeah, and I think that Cleveland's like offensive line obviously looked really bad. I mean, Steelers defense had 6 sacks, had 6 TFLs, and hit Deshaun Watson 11 times. Like that's piss poor from the offensive line.
Yeah,
and, like,
I think their O-line's pretty hurt right now. And I was looking up at their O-line rankings. So, I think what's that? PFF, I think, had them like before preseason, had them I think like ranked top 5 or 4 O-line in the league. And
yeah,
I know there's some guys hurt. I'm pretty sure.
They just haven't performed. Yeah, so that's definitely something. And like Deshaun, like Watson, I mean,
looked terrible.
Whatever your opinions are, and yeah, he's looked bad, right? So, it's definitely tough, and you know, obviously, fun fact. So kind of similar to like your DeAndre Swift kind of thing, where you like called your boy. My friend called me or texted me, and he's like, "Hey, like, I have the Steelers defense right now. Should I drop them and pick up Cleveland for this game, or what should I do?" And I was like, honestly, I think you drop Steelers defense. I think Kenny Pickett, like, it's supposed to be raining. Like, he has small hands anyway. Like, he wears gloves. Like, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. You know, Cleveland's a good team. Like, I think they're going to put up points on the Steelers. And, like, I was cooking, didn't even really, like, look at the game. And he's just like, bro, like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, what happened? And he's like, oh, pick six. It just as the game like goes, and the bad thing was he had like a 20-point lead on the guy that he was playing, and so he had the Browns defense, and so he had a 20-point lead with the Browns defense, and the other guy had Deshaun Watson, and ends up losing on the final drive of the game because the Steelers defense I think they had like a pick 6 or something like that, or a fumble recovery. I don't know. It's just whatever it was. He ended up losing on the final drive of the game because Deshaun Watson, like gets enough points, and I was just like, bro, that's so brutal.
He was trying real hard for me to lose my fantasy lineup matchup. I'm just letting you know right now. He was trying real hard. I would needed 2 points and the Cleveland defense. But if it would have just been Deshaun, I would have been shitting myself the whole week, the whole day. I was like, dude, he's trying so hard.
He looked like dog shit.
Yeah.
So,
you know, he's the 31st quarterback too with completion rate, only behind Zach Wilson. Or in front of Zach Wilson. So the only person behind him is Zach Wilson on completion rate.
Yeah, it's not good.
Among the NFL quarterbacks.
Good. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, and he got what, $250 million fully guaranteed.
We all know where that's going.
Yeah, it's going to massage parlors, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I thought it was crazy because Pittsburgh only had 9 first downs while the Browns had 20. And then to kind of put it into context, the Jets, who had the ball for 17 minutes, had 12 first downs. So Steelers defense, not good. Steelers offense, not good. Defense, very good. So see how that kind of goes. But Yeah, man, that's kind of all I had on recap of games this week. I know it's kind of talking a little bit too much, but NFL's in full swing, football's in full swing, so we got a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah, man, it's America's sport, baby. America.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So and then kind of just looking ahead really quick, I got some games to watch. Giants, Niners. I think that's gonna be an interesting game to kind of see how good the Niners are. They're 10-point favorites. The Niners are, which I wouldn't want to bet that. I think that's too big of a spread. Just in general, it's a big spread. Chargers, Vikings. That's a battle of two 0-2 teams that are kind of like looking bad and need to kind of get back on track really quick. And that's a pick 'em. So I mean,
yeah, that might be a shootout. I need to see the over under on that one. I mean, because offense obviously are pretty high. So it might just be a shootout to see who scores more points.
Yeah, I think I would lean the Vikings on that, but I don't know. Who knows? Saints Packers. I think that's going to be a good game. I want to see if the Saints are for real, and they're 2-0 right now. I mean, they just beat a pretty bad Carolina team. So
yeah, they struggle too offensively, man. Derek Carr is piss poor.
Yeah, so the Packers are favored by 2. It's at Lambeau too. So I'd probably take the Packers since it's at home, and like you said,
I'd take Packers
just pretty shitty. And then
Jordan
Love's
looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good this season.
And with Watson might come back too.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a kind of like a game that kind of like tells people what's going on. Lions, Falcons. Falcons are surprising 2-0 team. Lions just lost the game, like we kind of mentioned that they shouldn't have, to Seattle. They just lost CJ Gardner-Johnson. Which is like a big, big tone setter on the defense. So they're favored by 3. I would probably take the 3 points with Detroit, assuming that they're going to get back on track. They're playing at home. I don't know if I'm a super big believer in Atlanta yet, but that's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough game, but I want to say the spread's pretty close for that one. 3? I mean, they just got 2 running backs that just can pound the ball, and Strider's not going to throw the ball as much. But I think because the Lions are kind of, you still have the questionable with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I heard you have turf toe, blah, blah, blah. So that's a big offensive weapon now. And then with the defense with CJ Gardner-Johnson.
David Montgomery,
And Montgomery. But you got Gibbs, bro. It's Gibbs time. It's perfect for my fantasy.
Yeah,
it's Gibbs time.
That's a good shout. Mm-hmm. And then last game as a preview is Eagles-Bucks. I think we kind of mentioned this. Bucks are 2-0 also, which is kind of crazy. Baker Mayfield's cooking right now.
He's cooking.
Not me. I'll tell you that much. I would have never guessed that Bake was just going to cook like that. Eagles are 5-point favorites. I would probably take Tampa in the points. Personally, I think it's at Tampa. Like we said, the Eagles haven't really been playing well, but they did get a little bit extra rest because they played on Thursday. So,
they got a fat ass rest, bro. They play Thursday and then they get a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah. So
almost 2 weeks.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Now that you think about that.
Golly, man. Yeah, I hate this, man.
That's all I have. That's all I have. I think I see a couple more notes that you got, but that's all I got for weekend preview and all that stuff for NFL.
Yeah, I just had some teams right here. If you want to, you can rank them however you want. Put some teams down that are 0-2. And how would you rank them on that? They'd just be panicked, So you got the Bengals, Chargers, Broncos, Vikings, and Bears.
I think that the most dead team is the Bears. I think that's pretty obvious. Justin Fields is
There's
dog
no
shit.
Fields.
He's I would bet a lot of money that they are basically punting on Fields and they're just tanking and they're going to draft a new quarterback this year. I wouldn't be surprised. Their offensive coordinator is putting Fields in a bad spot, and Fields is kind of commenting on it and just talking shit back in the press, which doesn't look good. After that, I'd probably say I think the next 4 are probably all pretty close. I think you'll kind of find out a little bit more this week, specifically between the Chargers and the Vikings. Whoever loses that game is obviously 0-3. They're in a really bad spot. I think the Chargers are probably a little bit more pressed than the Vikings are because they're in such a good division. So, I mean, they play what? They play the Raiders, they play the Chiefs, and they play the Broncos. So, I mean, that's tough. Whereas the Vikings, the NFC North isn't as good of a division. I mean, you got the Packers, you got Lions, and the Bears. So I think, So I think you're okay a little bit more if you're the Vikings. Bengals, I think that you're going to be all right. I think Joe Burrow's still kind of recovering from that calf injury. So if he has like 2 more weeks where he just plays like dog shit, I think that's going to be tough. And then Broncos, I think there's still a lot. There's got to be optimism because they got a new coach and they're kind of trying to settle in and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just too many unknowns with the Broncos to hit the panic button, I think. But I definitely think the Bears are dead in the water already. I think there's no saving them. I mean, if they win 2 games this year, that'll be impressive.
Wow, no, I totally agree. And did you hear with the Broncos? Russell Wilson's like gonna wear like a play sheet now on his hand because supposedly he doesn't understand the plays or he just can't I don't know. Supposedly he's having trouble communicating plays to his guys. So a veteran quarterback that's been in the league for so long. Yeah. So what did that give you? Yeah. Fraud. I mean, that's all I got for NFL. If you have anything else.
Yeah. I think I've also seen like one last note on the Bengals. I think I've seen that on the Bengals. Like Joe Burrow and them have started 0-2 so many times that like.
That's what I keep hearing too. And I guess it's hard to forget since Super Bowl and then AFC title game and just just like.
I think they'll be fine. I think that like of the teams in that group of 5 to be the most optimistic about, I would probably say it's the Bengals and the Vikings. And then I'd probably say least optimistic about the Bears, then the Broncos, and then Broncos. I guess the middle team, and then the middle team would be the Chargers. It would be for that. Sure. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna go get my glove real quick. Let's get ready for a little Ollie in the outfield. What do you say?
Yeah, man. Can you pitch? What kind of experience do you have pitching? No.
It would be probably just the same outcome as the Rangers bullpen.
Probably can't be that bad. I promise you.
I don't know. I guess, I mean, Austin Hedges has been out there pitching a couple times. He hasn't looked too terrible.
And he's got the best bullpen ERA for us.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So, let's get to all in the outfield, man. Texas Rangers. We got way too damn high, my guy. We was on cloud 9 with this team. We're on cloud 9 with this team. Go out. You're in Toronto. Need to win. At least 2. 3 is amazing. And you go out there and sweep them in a 4-game series. You think the offense is back. You don't have to test the pitching because you blew the game out the water. You outscored them. I think you scored like about 30-something runs against them. It's amazing. Come back I'll give them the Friday one. I don't know if you heard so I kind of forgot that Toronto's not the US. So you have to clear customs when you come back. And I think they didn't get back to their hotel until like 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And you have a game. Guardians were off the day before at home. Terrible scheduling on MLB on their part. Yeah. I'll give them that. I told you Lucas Giolito was going to pitch and you were excited. You said, we were pumped. The fraud. Fraud had 11 Ks. Shut us out.
Do we not know ball?
Oh, no, we know we don't. Why do we do this? This is the fun part.
Come on now.
This is the fun part.
I have a note later.
And then you go to Guardians, you get swept. Look awful. So crazy. You should have won Saturday. You're 1-1 lead. Will Smith gives up a lead. Surprised? No. But what do? You really got nothing else in that book. I'm telling you, you got nothing else. You brought up someone named Latz or something like that. He had a pretty good AAA pitching, something like that. He had like a 5 ERA though in this season, but he had a pretty good August from what I heard. Again, you get swept. Come back, play Boston in the middle of the second game as we're recording this. And you get your full lineup back, full strength on Monday. You get Adolis back, you get Josh Young back. And I was close. I sent you the text of what I had the lineup. Yeah, we were close. So close. We were close. We were cooking it. But you got Adolis dropping down all the way. Is it 6 hole, right? He's in the 6 hole now?
Yeah, he was in the 6 hole yesterday. And then, was he in the 6 hole today too?
I think so. And he homered today.
Yeah.
And yesterday's game, again, Monday's game, another blow. You blow it. You're up by 2 runs. You get Marcus Semien, first pitch homer, and you're like, okay, we're back.
Yeah,
like Red Sox and Guardians are out of the playoff picture. Not officially yet, but they are long gone. They're playing for nothing. They're looking forward to be home already and just forget about baseball. They don't want to play baseball anymore. And that team beat you, swept you, and you're going against the Red Sox. Got a 2-run lead, bringing Will Smith. to the point where Bruce Bochy, you saw that video, he finally breaks
pissed,
character. And I love it.
Pissed.
I give him props. I don't know how you sit there and camera guys in the production booth, they got to go, okay, get Bruce Bochy on the screen. And, he's just sitting there, always just like, I'm sure he has so many things in his head. It's just like, damn, bro, my fucking team sucks, bro. What do you do? And then you finally get the camera on him, and he's pissed. He's pissed. You pissed off the old man, bro. Better get a heart attack, bro. God, I'm sure he felt that all on his knees. So you blow another lead. I was pissed, and they get him on the fan today, and obviously they're like, "Hey, first question we're gonna ask him, what happened?
We're gonna ask him about
why are you mad? Yeah, why are you mad?" And he answered. He chuckled, and he was like, some of us, we're human. Guys, we show emotions. Like, I'm competitive. It happened. Is like, we had talked about something, and they did the complete opposite. Supposedly, like, obviously, I don't think that's where the pitch was supposed to be. And then allegedly, I heard too, the guy that they walked intentionally, or they walked someone base loaded to try to face this guy, the lefty, and his nickname is literally the Lefty Killer, which means he hits good against lefties.
Wasn't
Will
the guy
Smith
that
is a lefty.
Wasn't the guy that we intentionally walked like hitting like 180 something?
Yeah,
or 160 something.
He was like the eighth hole. Yeah.
Well, you don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. It just does not make any sense.
Yeah, you tell me. Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have the game pulled up for this one right now? For Tuesday?
We're currently winning 4-3. Big Heaney is
He's
pitching in the top of the 7th. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Uvalde went 5?
He went 5, and then Stratton came in, pitched a clean 1 inning, no hits, 1K on 11 pitches, and Big Heaney Dog's in there right now.
So Uvalde gave up 3?
Yeah, he gave up 3.
Yeah.
They got a guy on second. So, and then they got one out.
Can you see who scored for the Rangers? Because I know Dolly's had the solo homer.
Yeah. Let me see. It's pulling up right now. Sorry. I know Simeon. In the 5th inning, Simeon singled to left with Leote scoring.
Nice.
And then in the 6th inning, so that took it to 3-2. And then in the 6th inning, Jonah Heim doubled to right. And Adolis scored, and then Leote singled, and then Heim scored from second. So
wow. Okay, props to Leote. I think that's a guy under the radar.
Leote's been hot.
He had a 7-game hitting streak.
Lately.
He was batting like 380. Yeah.
Really? Okay. See.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So, yeah, man, it's tough. We got to get back on track. We got to win tonight. I think tonight's as much of a must win as you can have. I think we're dead even with the Mariners for that final wild card spot, and the only reason why that we have the wild card spot is to be able to hold the tiebreakers. So
the Astros keep on losing. Blow lead last night.
And
Cedric Mullins pinched one.
And then
7 games,
Seattle
bro. We have
weekend,
7 games. 7 games with Seattle, bro.
That's
through
3.
We go 3, and then 3 in LA, and then we end the season 4 in Seattle. Dude, that series is going to be massive if we keep playing the way we do.
Are you going this weekend into games?
We could easily win the division, bro. I mean, the Astros have the Orioles. I don't know the rest of the schedule. I'm kind of mad that I don't have that pulled up. But Astros, again, suck at home. Lost at home yesterday. And we'll talk about the Astros real quickly, too. They've been helping us trying to get close. Like, no one wants to win the division. I don't know what's going on. It's almost like the NFC East a couple years ago when we were just absolute dog
Everybody
shit.
was 7-9. Everybody was 7-9.
Yeah, exactly. No one wanted to win. As a Rangers fan, I'm okay with it. Like, okay, so they lose a series to Oakland and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Back-to-back series losses. And we couldn't take advantage of that? Hey, good news. White Langford still raking. And Austin and me talked about it. Austin mentioned to me off camera. First at bat, double AAA.
Yeah, I mean I can pull it up. It's gonna take me a second to look it up. What he has.
And then
now,
you got and you got Jack Ladder too getting promoted to AAA. So 2 big dogs that obviously Jack Ladders have looked way better since coming off the development list. There you go. So he's been looking good, and then he might not be not too far off.
Yeah,
they asked Bochy today too.
I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused on what they said of what they're doing with him. I think what they said that I guess they just promoted him to keep him like in season, and that he's not right now. He's not active, but he's like with them training. I guess is how I took it.
Yeah, like I don't know if he was going to start or anything like that. I think he was just going to be there, like you said, maybe just
I
throwing some
guess.
like bullpens,
Yeah,
which is like, you know, scapegoat for
sure,
him coming to Arlington. I guess
sure.
that's what I'll say.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I
but
mean, what?
Bochy again, and the fan said, "Hey, we've thought about everything." Because they asked him, like, "Hey, we
Yeah,
asked you about Carter, and you said we're thinking about everything's on the table, and now he's in the big leagues, doing pretty good." And then come here a couple weeks later, and you're like, "Hey, that boy Wyatt just got drafted, but he's raking for
he's
you, my
raking.
guy. He's raking." And Jack Lyers looked amazing, and gotta try everything at this point. I'm telling you, gotta try
I guess
everything.
what,
I don't
dude?
think it's
So
realistically. I don't think it
okay,
happens.
okay. So all right, let's just play. All right, also sorry for everybody listening. Like this is we're just kind of have a therapy session, so I hope you guys are okay with it. But so say they bring up, say they bring up, Langford, White Langford. What do you do
Mm-hmm.
with him? Who do you sit? Do you DH him?
Leote.
I mean, but Leote's hitting 370 right now, and he's on. I mean, he's been raking. I think he's been doing all right.
And he's
Do
a
you? I
switch
mean, so
hitter,
do
like I
you?
said. I don't know. You
I mean,
probably
yeah.
DH
So
with
like,
Garver. I mean, but they're both righties. Langford's a righty, correct? Pretty sure he's a
I
righty.
think he is. I'm pretty sure he's a righty.
Yeah, I mean Garver's a
So
righty too. And then
do you put him at DH? Do you take out Evan Carter?
I
And
was like, what
especially
could happen?
because isn't Evan Carter pretty bad at hitting lefties too? But
I
I
was about
mean,
to say
also Evan,
it can be a platoon guy. He's been playing a
yeah,
lot more. I think giving him more at bats with lefties. But
yeah,
if you keep doing that, I mean that's fine. And once they switch to a lefty or to a right-handed pitcher, then that's when you make
it
the
is.
switch. And he's been doing. He's been. I think Bochy did a good time or good job of that throughout the year, like pinch hitting for guys
Yeah,
or putting up a lineup that says, okay, this is what I'm going to do right now. But if the time comes, you have Jankowski, Grossman, whatever, to be able to come in and pinch hit. So I think if realistically, if that were to happen, I think Leote is just so valuable. He's lucky he's a switch hitter and he's pretty hot right
yeah.
now getting on base and stuff. So I think that's what you would do with Carter and Langford if that were to happen.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's my thoughts.
But yeah, man. Do you got anything else on the Rangers before we kind of keep wrapping
That's
around
about
the
it,
outfield?
man. That's about it.
Cool.
I think I did pretty calm. I stayed calm throughout this
Yeah,
conversation. I think.
it's a
I think I did pretty
nice
good.
little therapy session.
Yeah,
Just
you should have seen me over the
get your
weekend, bro.
frustrations out. I
Fuck.
believe it.
Yeah, and just some quick news around the diamond. So Rays get an approval for a new stadium in St. Petersburg.
Big
Don't
time.
know why they need a new stadium
I think
for
they
their.
were like they were threatening to
Mhm.
move, and so I think if I'm correct that they were going to go to like Montreal or something like that, or like
Yeah, I was
split
reading
time,
that.
like
Yeah.
half in Montreal, half in St. Pete. So I
Hmm.
guess that Tropicana Field, I think, is their current stadium. It's like pretty run down, and like there's so many times that like in the ceiling
You
or
lose the ball.
of the yeah, exactly. So I think maybe that, I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. 1.3 billion, 30,000 seats for their average this year is 17,000. So what are you gonna do with those 13,000 seats that are empty?
That's a
Rays
great
got no
question.
fans. I feel bad. They're a good
They're a
baseball
good
team.
team.
They were just in the World Series a couple years ago, COVID series
Yeah, that's a
here in
good point.
Arlington, and they. I don't know any Tampa Bay Ray fans,
I don't either. Couldn't tell you one. I
and
don't
I'm
think I
like
could
I
tell
said,
you a
I feel
single player on the
bad
Rays
that they
team.
have no one. All right, come on now.
Oh,
You know
Rosario.
one.
I got
There
it.
you
Rosario.
go.
That's
I was like,
okay.
you did not just say that.
I got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but
That's okay.
no, I mean, I agree. They have a team that's like, it's not big names. It's really not big
Yeah.
names, and they just can do it.
They play.
And
Good
starting
team.
pitching has been really hurt this year for them too. Losing Shane McClanahan, a Cy Young guy that was going to win for sure. And
Yeah.
so I feel bad for them that they just have no fans and like no one wants to watch them. So yeah, they're getting that new stadium. Obviously they're happy. I did read about that. They were going to split time in Montreal and Tampa. So yeah, stay at St. Petersburg, 30,000. But this year they're 27th in the MLB in average for home games.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Only team below them, Kansas
below?
and
Oh.
Oakland.
Yeah, it's tough. They're all pretty.
So
They're
it's
both
not
pretty
good.
dog shit too. If you want to get mad, Corey Seager just had an error that led Boston to tie the game. So they got a man on first and second with one out.
You know how bad the error had to be for the scorer to actually call it an error? Because they never call errors anymore in the MLB.
Yeah, it was a
So
throwing
I can't.
error, apparently.
Oh gosh. How many outs were there?
Yeah.
There was one.
There was one.
Okay.
Verdugo grounded into a fielder's choice. Dahlbeck scored on error. Urias safe at second on a throwing error by shortstop Seager.
Well, this is nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Otani had surgery.
Well.
Otani had surgery. He's going to be on track to hopefully hit opening day next year, but he will not be pitching at all next year. He will be available to pitch
in a Rangers uniform
until 2025. I'll take that DH, bro. Please.
Yeah,
So does that change the price on him just being a DH?
Yeah, it has to. I think that because
By
it's
how
like
many
no
zeros?
guarantee that he can stay healthy pitching wise. Because what they were saying he was going to get what $60 million a year, a nice cool 45,
some crazy amount.
Yeah, just call it because he's like 26 or 27, right? He's pretty young still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe 8 years. 8 years, 360 million or 380 million, something like that. Whatever that comes out to.
Yeah, because I think they're roughly going to around like the 600 mil. I think it's where they were going at it with it, like just predictions.
Yeah,
that was with him pitching.
I think. Yeah, I mean, if he's only going to be able to play DH, I mean, and there's pretty genuine injury concerns. So, I mean, maybe he just kind of turns into a closer or a relief pitcher when he does pitch.
Yeah,
I don't know. To try and
I don't know if he'd like that. I think he'd want to stay starting pitching. And I mean, I think if he does sign with the team, or obviously he is going to sign with the team, and when he comes back to pitching, you might have to tell him to be your team would have to adapt to maybe like a 6-7 rotation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Have him like in college or like high school baseball, just Friday night. Hey, Friday night's your day, and the whole team has to work around it. It's like you're going to pitch Friday night. Okay, that's what you're going to do. And to keep him healthy, and I think that's not a bad idea. It's just that the team is capable of having like those extra days, messing up everyone else's routine. But you're like, hey, you're not Shohei, so you have to adapt to this guy right here. Okay, you do whatever you want. Clean his shoes if he needs to, bro. Help him with his English. God damn it, type shit. But yeah, no, he got surgery, so that's gonna happen. Obviously very interested. I don't know what the odds are of him coming to the Rangers. But we like to pay people that are injury prone or just have previous injuries.
Yeah, that's facts.
So Mike Trout and Otani would look very nice in Arlington. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay.
I guess I was like thinking in my head. I was like, what happened to JP Martinez? Because I remember that we signed him the summer that we were going after Shohei and didn't get him. So what happened to him? Is he still in the roster?
No, he got sent back down, and as he got sent back down, he hit a homer. So obviously he can still rake. Just wasn't doing at the MLB level.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about it. I guess.
But last but not least, I don't know how interested people will be on this, but HBO Max is going to have a new add-on from Bleacher Report that they're going to have live sports now since everyone's doing it.
Interesting.
They're going to have live sports. It'll be free if you have HBO Max. It's going to be free until March of 2024. It's going to start October 5th, right before the MLB postseason. So they're going to be carrying a lot of games. Let me see. I have this. They have a lot of stuff on this. I don't even have HBO Max, but maybe it's time. So they're going to show the MLB playoffs. That's the big thing they're going to be sponsoring. MLB postseason, 60 live NHL games, 65 NBA games. They're going to be doing the October 24th Denver Nuggets versus Lakers and the Suns and Warriors. The NBA in-season tournament is going to be on there too, allegedly.
Interesting.
The NHL Winter Classic 2024, NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship, so March Madness.
Yeah, that's good time.
MLB regular season starting next year, the Stanley Cup playoffs, MLB playoffs, or NBA playoffs, and the U.S. men and women's national soccer team matches, including the She Believes Cup.
Yeah, I know I watched it was like one of the January games that the U.S. men's national team had on. So, yeah. I mean,
you've seen before on
the
there?
streaming service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that was only one. Yeah, it was like the very first one that they did. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of the times now, right? Just everybody's doing their own streaming service, which might as well get cable to loop them all together at this point. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think cable exists anymore, right? There's no way.
There's like DirecTV stream and stuff like that. I mean, I guess like YouTube TV is basically cable. So
Yeah, but it's just taking over.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, man,
facts.
that's all I got for me. I'm gonna hit the showers, get my notepad, and take some notes.
Get it rolling.
But AU.
Yeah. AU. Yeah, we can kind of blaze through. It'll be a quick class today. We're running long. So I'll hit a couple games from last week and then kind of look forward to a couple games I thought were interesting. So first game, obviously, that I kind of mentioned was TCU Houston. TCU ended up winning 36-13. I thought it was a great all-around performance from TCU. Their defense just locked up Houston, gave up 6 points on offense. The only touchdown that Houston scored was on a kick return, just missed tackles, which has kind of been TCU's defensive issues this year, which isn't really surprising. Offense looks good. Just kind of got to stay efficient in the red zone and just convert, and can't be on third down and stuff like that. Just got to be better. I think we converted only 6 of we were less than 50% on third down, which is pretty shitty. So just got to clean that up, and we're getting into, we play a pretty big rivalry game against SMU this weekend. So, and SMU is a pretty good team, so kind of got to keep going. So I think that we beat SMU this week. I think we got a good chance to kind of string a couple together, and I'm really optimistic. After the first week, I was on suicide watch, and I think now that you can kind of see they're getting better every week. They're it's not as bad as it was. So, hopefully we can kind of string a couple along and just get better every week. And, maybe we make a play for the Big 12 championship at the end of the year. BYU Arkansas was one of the games I kind of talked about last week. And I was actually really impressed with BYU. So this game was going on as I was driving down, or as the same time as the TCU Houston game, but kind of catching up with it on highlights and Twitter and all that stuff. BYU, that's a really impressive win for them. And in Arkansas and stuff like that, right? So KJ Jefferson, who's Arkansas's quarterback, just made a couple crucial mistakes in clutch moments. And I kind of feel like Arkansas kind of beat themselves. Some stats here: BYU only had 7 penalties for 45 yards, whereas Arkansas had 14 penalties for 125 yards. When you do that, when you're an undisciplined football team and just kind of make some turnovers and you just beat yourself, you're not going to win a lot of good games, especially against a team that BYU, that's a good team. I if they had a better schedule, I think that I could say that they would possibly compete for the Big 12 championship. But they play TCU, they play Texas, they play OU, they play Tech. They just play a lot of really good teams in the Big 12, so it kind of sucks for them. But I think they're still a good team, and they can kind of make some noise and knock some teams off, and I wouldn't really be surprised. And then the game that I said was my lock of the week, turned out to be a really good game. This was happening as we were driving down to Houston, and Missouri ends up winning 30-27. So it shows how much I know ball. But, really, it was a really good game. I mean, it was 2 evenly matched teams, I think. Total yards pretty much about the same. Kansas State had 408 to Missouri's 430. 19 first downs to 20 first downs. 6 penalties to 7 penalties. So, yeah, and it just overall just kind of just making plays when it matters, and Kansas State had an opportunity to kind of close the door and they didn't. So kind of let a team like Missouri kind of hang around, and especially Missouri's playing at home, they're just not going to do it. And then fun fact is Missouri's kicker hit a 61-yard field goal as time expired, which is in general is just crazy, but this dude is an absolute unit. There's a lot of people kind of talking about him, but his nickname is the Thicker Kicker, which I thought was pretty funny.
The Thicker Kicker.
So I don't know, the Thicker Kicker. He's 250. He's a unit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and there's that one guy. I forgot what school it was. The 34-year-old kicker, living his dream.
Yeah. I mean, they're out there. TCU's punter is 30 years old, Australian. So been there for 5 years. So
get a job,
might
bro.
As well have kids, stuff like that. Yeah, I know, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then kind of the last wrap up thing. It was a pretty big letdown week for a lot of teams. Texas, Bama, Georgia, Florida State, Colorado, they all played close games. Texas ends up beating Wyoming, but I mean, they were I think they were losing 10-7 into the second half. Bama was down, in a really sloppy game in the rain, and against South Florida. Georgia, I think ended up only beating South Carolina by 7. Florida State beat Boston College by 2. And Boston College is not a very good team. Colorado beat Colorado State in double overtime. And, Colorado State probably should have won that game and gone for 2 at the end of the first overtime. So just a lot of like really close games. And for a week that, didn't have a lot of like marquee matchups, there's a lot of really close games and teams that kind of got caught lacking. And then the Big 12, while they did have a good win, and BYU had a good win against Arkansas, and Texas had a good win against Bama, they had some embarrassing losses this week from kind of like teams that are in the bottom of the Big 12. Iowa State lost to the University of Ohio. The real Miami of Ohio beat Cincinnati 31-24. Oklahoma State got like absolutely dog walked by South Alabama. So like that's just a dog shit result. Like Mike Gundy, is playing his kid at quarterback. Like it's abysmal up there. So yeah, there's a lot of Matt Campbell, the Iowa State head coach, like is like walking back to the locker room after the game, and like this guy, like I don't know if you've seen a video of this, but this guy's like, "You're on the hot seat, and he like is like trying to jump over the barriers to like fight this guy. Like it's just these teams are all a mess. It is absolutely brutal for some of these teams.
God.
And then kind of just looking ahead, there's a lot of like really, really good matchups this week. Florida State, Clemson, UCLA, Utah, Colorado, Oregon, Ole Miss, Bama, like I think there's 8 or 7 like ranked matchups, which are all like going to be amazing. So for a college football
what
fan,
you need from last
what
week,
you need, right?
From
so
last
like,
weekend.
you're a neutral. Like this is going to be a great week. Like get a laptop and a TV set up. Like all day Saturday, you're going to have shit to watch because I mean, there's so many good games. And so I kind of did want to run ahead. I got 9 games here that I think are good games to look ahead to. That I want to pick a little winner. See what I was thinking. See how I can do. We can look back on it next week and kind of see how I did. So, Florida State, Clemson. They're playing at Clemson, but I think that I would want to preface this. I think Florida State wins as long as their quarterback's healthy. I know in the game last week he kind of was like I think he like banged up his wrist or something like that. So you don't know, but I mean as long as he plays, I think Florida State wins that game. UCLA, Utah. This game is in Utah. I think Utah is the higher ranked team, and UCLA is starting or playing a freshman quarterback. But I think that UCLA still wins this game. Utah, as long as their starting quarterback is still hurt, I don't think they're very good. They beat a pretty shitty Florida team, which beat a pretty shitty Tennessee team. So, yeah, I think that UCLA wins this game. Colorado, Oregon. Obviously, Colorado's pretty hyped up right now, but I mean. Oregon's just a better team. I think that's
Colorado's 20.5 dog.
Yeah, and I think they cover, but I don't think they win. I also said the same thing against TCU.
Even with no Sanders, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I still think they cover. It'll be a shootout. Bet the over. Whatever the over is, bet it. If it's
be high, man. College football be high.
I would say anything under 75. Any over under 75. I bet that over. I think that hits. Ole Miss, Bama. I think the Bama's just dog shit. I don't think they're very good.
They benched their quarterback, right?
Yeah, but he's also he's starting again he's starting again this week. So I think that Ole Miss is a better team than Bama. I think this is the year that Lane Kiffin beats Nick Saban. So Oregon State and Washington State. I think these are two really good, like underrated teams in the Pac-12 that you don't really hear a lot about. Washington State, their quarterback, his name is Cam Ward. He was like an FCS guy, so he played at the University of Incarnate Word in San Antonio.
Oh,
was
wow.
like He was like the Heisman for the FCS level. I think it was 2 years ago. So in the 2021 season, and he transferred to Washington State after that year. So he's like low key, like been balling. He's a really good quarterback, but I think that Oregon State, like they have a really good run attack. Their quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei, was the quarterback at Clemson up until last year and then just transferred to Oregon State. So I think that he's like this is going to be a pretty good game. And honestly, like I want to watch it if I have the time. And I think that Oregon State ends up pulling that one out. Ohio State, Notre Dame. This is probably one of the marquee matchups of the weekend. I think it's number 6 versus number 9. I've kind of gone both ways on this, but I think that I'm going to lean towards Ohio State to win. Just because I think that Notre Dame they're always fraudulent until proven otherwise. So I think that's just kind of what I'm going to go with. BYU, Kansas, it's kind of like a nerdy game, Big 12 game that I'm kind of excited for. Obviously, BYU coming off a big win against Arkansas that we just talked about. Kansas is a really good team. They lost the game this year already, I think, if I'm correct. But they beat Nevada in a close game, or they haven't lost a game yet. They're both 3-0 teams, but they just played a game against Nevada that was like way too close. They're kind of banged up, but they beat a pretty good Illinois team. So I think that ultimately Kansas ends up winning this game. I think Jalen Daniels, their quarterback, is just a playmaker and he's a stud. So they're going to do it right. And then I wanted to pick one upset that I think is going to happen that you wouldn't really expect it to be. And I think that UTSA is going to go into Tennessee, and I think they're going to shock Tennessee.
Like San Antonio?
Yeah, University of Texas San Antonio. I think that they're a really good team. Tennessee is kind of in shambles right now. They just got taken to the cleaners against Florida in Florida. Their quarterback isn't. I can't remember his name. The Tennessee quarterback, but he's not very good. This is as much of a trap game for Tennessee as you can find. And I think that UTSA. Whenever we post our picks for the weekend, UTSA covering the spread will absolutely be my pick. But I want the record to show that I'm picking UTSA to win this game outright. Just why not? I just have a gut feeling about it. They have a really good quarterback. Jeff Traylor, I think is his name, is their head coach, and just I think they're going to be really good. So, and obviously, last game is the battle for the Iron Skillet, TCU SMU. Kind of see who's the better team in the DFW Metroplex, and obviously, I'm gonna ride with the Frogs. I'll be there, be on scene, having a good time. But yeah, man, it's kind of quick and dirty AU. I know we're kind of running a little bit long here, so we can kind of finish up with segments and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that's all I got.
Good content, though. Good content, man.
Good content.
I love it
here and there. So
I'm loving it. Yeah, hopefully everyone's enjoying this.
I hope so. So yeah, man. Moving along to a little YDKB. You don't know ball. I do got to shout out Colin Cowherd again.
The two-time champ.
two-time. After going 0-5 week 1, he improves by a little bit. Goes 0-4-1, so he pushes 1, but still goes 0-4.
Nice.
Missed the Bears plus 2.5. That was a dog shit game. Giants minus 4.5. Which I was also on the Giants, but what are you gonna do?
I can't blame him on that one.
Yeah, I can't really blame him on that one. Broncos lose a close game. Patriots plus 3. I guess I can kind of defend that one too. And then Panthers, they push the plus 3. So yeah, Colin Cowherd doesn't really know ball still until proven otherwise. And then I kind of just threw a little something in here. We don't really know ball because we kept saying the Rangers were back, and they're proving us wrong.
Us as a show did not know ball, man.
Yeah, we didn't.
I don't know why people are listening to us, but hey.
Don't say that. Come on now. You gotta tune in.
The joke.
It's a joke, dude. Come on, subscribe. Rate 5 stars.
Please,
yeah, man. You got anybody that I'm missing that doesn't know ball that you want to give a little shout out to?
Does Will Smith count?
Yeah, Will Smith counts.
Yeah, Will Smith's a piece of shit and he doesn't know ball. With his shitty ass 3-pitch repertoire, bro. Has a fucking 70-mile-per-hour curveball and a 89 and 90-mile-per-hour fastball. What does he think's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's tough.
So yeah,
is this a venting session or is
the whole
this a
bullpen
personal
doesn't know
vendetta
ball.
segment?
The whole bullpen should just not have a ball. They shouldn't have a ball.
Okay. All right, and then that was YDKB. Quick little segment, and then last little segment that we got is a little hot take of the week. I'll let you go first. You can do the honors if you want.
Okay, yeah. I don't have anything yet, but I'm not even sure. I feel like every time I do this, it's not crazy hot take. I mean, I think it's a good hot take.
Yeah,
but our very own Michael Parsons will be the NFL MVP this year.
I like it.
It's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback award. It is Micah's award now. If he's healthy and he just keeps on being the lion that he is, crawling, dragging his nuts all across the quarterbacks on his sacks, he will be the MVP.
What do you think? What stat line do you think allows him to win MVP?
How many sacks is he at? 3?
He's got to.
4?
He's got to be at 3. at least.
There's 17 games.
Yeah.
3 times 17 is I
41.
say God, nah, he won't give. I think his line was like 18 and a half. I give him like I don't even know what the all sack season leader is, but like 25 sacks, bro.
So he's currently on pace for 25 and a half sacks.
Okay, yeah, see, there you go. 25, 26.
Yeah. I think that's a good shot. I think if he hits like 26 sacks, maybe a couple forced fumbles, maybe a pick, maybe 2 picks. I think that's. I mean,
And I just think if the defense just stay as like how they are, what's their new name? Their defense name?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they're calling it. Do they have a name?
I thought they did. I forgot, but at least it's not Hot Boys because them boys were bad. The boys were cold.
Yeah, that's facts.
But
That's facts.
yeah, no, I think if the
facts.
defense just stays as good and consistent and just unstoppable, and everyone's recognizing it, and it leads you to obviously a lot in the playoffs and stuff like that. I think it has to be Micah. I don't think there's been an offensive player just yet, right now, that's like blowing your mind. That's like, oh, dude, he's MVP. I mean, you have Jada.
I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna have to be a perfect storm where there's like not a offensive player that's not like super like just going crazy, but
Mahomes at a slow start.
Yeah, I think I think that's pretty valid. I could see it happening. I think it is a hot take because I think it's pretty like it's not super likely that it happens, but I think it's fair. I think it's a good take.
When's the last time someone else that wasn't a quarterback or just even a defensive player? What, Lawrence Taylor, the guy that everyone keeps comparing Micah to?
Yeah, had to be LT, had to be that LT to win MVP on the defensive side, and I think on offense side had to have been a running back, maybe Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, somebody in that era, the mid early 2000s. Yeah, man, I like it. I think it's a good take. I think it's a good take.
Preach.
And then my hot take is, it's kind of not as much a hot take as like a, rhetorical question. Is everybody was hyping up the UT Alabama game and saying, like it's battle heavyweights, and because Texas ends up winning that game, is Texas back? Are they really a good team? Are they national title favorites now? But my question is, what if UT and Alabama just both aren't good, and they're not? I think they're both good teams, and I think they're both like. I think Alabama's an 8-win team, 9-win team. I think Texas is an 8 or 9-win team. They have a pretty easy schedule. But like, what if they're not? What if neither of the teams are good? I mean, Bama like doesn't have a quarterback, and they just barely won in a dogfight against University of South Florida, and in Florida or Texas, is kind of having to work and compete against Wyoming, and like. What if neither of them are any good? And that, really, I think the Big 12 is a little bit more open than people are thinking, with, just assuming that Texas and OU are going to be the ones that are playing in the Big 12 championship. And I think that there's still a lot of really good teams in the Big 12 that could compete. I mean, we already talked about BYU, Kansas, Tech, not really Tech anymore, but like Kansas State still can make some noise. UCF is undefeated, and TCU is getting better every week. So I don't know if Texas is as good as they are, as good as they should be. So I mean, they obviously still are favorites, but to win for sure the Big 12 and to make a run in the playoffs. But yeah, that's kind of my hot take is, just put it out there. Maybe Texas isn't as good as people thought they are because they beat Alabama, but maybe they just beat Alabama because Alabama stinks. So that's that.
There you go. Yeah, I guess we'll find out, man. It's a long season.
Yeah,
we'll find out soon enough, fraud or not.
Yeah, man. You got any final thoughts or anything like that?
No, man. I'm hoping that we're at a high again. It was fun last week. I promise you. Last episode was fun. Hey. I was at a high. We were at a high. Ooh. Rangers were good.
Hey, we're winning 6-4. 6-4.
Just means another opportunity for the bullpen to blow it.
Going into the 8th, 6-4.
So, yep.
Well, yeah, man. Well, cool. Well, that is pretty much it for another episode of Austin Oli. Guys, go follow us on social medias. That it'll be in the description, but we're on Instagram at Austin_and_Oli. On TikTok at Austin Oli. I think my Twitter is at ATXNav. Your Twitter is at OP underscore Placencia 8 official.
I
OP,
changed it to
what is it?
Oli Placencia because I couldn't get the
Perfect.
underscore on our graphic. So now all my medias are Oli Placencia now. Yeah.
Perfect. So everything, so yeah, on the graphic, our social medias will be there. Our graphic for the TikTok social media is on our graphic as well. So yeah, man, go follow us, go check us out, interact with us, please. We're putting out, some lines here and there. So we'll have some predictions for the Thursday night game. We'll have college games on Saturday, NFL games on Sunday, and we might even throw a little bit of a Monday Night Football in there for next week if we can get around to it.
Yep.
Throw some TikToks up. Go interact, go like, go comment. Obviously, podcast wise, Apple's, Spotify, YouTube, subscribe. If you are so inclined, give us a little 5 stars. I think we're doing our best here. We're getting a little bit better every week. So, yeah, man. With that, thank you guys so much for listening. And that was this week's episode of Austin Oli, a sports podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.